The Josh McDaniels debacle helped keep something that otherwise would have been the top story of the day from gaining all that much attention. Panthers interim GM Marty Hurney placed on paid leave in the aftermath of a complaint that was filed against him, an effort to get a protective order based upon vague allegations of domestic violence that ultimately resulted in the judge finding there's no evidence of domestic violence. And this came through what they call an ex parte hearing, meaning Hurney wasn't even present or represented, and even without his voice in the case, there wasn't enough from his ex-wife who made these allegations to convince the judge to issue a protective order. So Hurney is placed on paid leave while the NFL investigates, and I think this is a product of the Ray Rice situation from 4 years ago and also the current climate as it relates to allegations of misconduct made against NFL figures. You look at what's gone on with Jerry Richardson in Charlotte, the fact that he's selling the team, the NFL being very careful here as they sift through the facts. The Panthers need to know what's going on sooner than later, though. The combine is coming up. Free agency is coming up. The draft is coming up. And it would be a shame if this delay forces them to say, you know what, we're interviewing GM candidates anyway. We're just going to hire somebody else, and we'll pay Marty Hurney until his contract expires in June and just move on. If he is to be exonerated, he needs to be exonerated by the league quickly. The legal system so far, no finding of any responsibility. The NFL has a different standard. They need to apply that standard and come to a conclusion in fairness to the Panthers and Hurney as soon as possible. With Matt Patricia leaving the Patriots as defensive coordinator and becoming the new head coach of the Lions, there was some thought that maybe the New England Patriots would interview Greg Schiano to join the staff. Now, some had said he would be the defensive coordinator. My understanding is Brian Flores, the linebackers coach, is likely to be the coordinator, but that Schiano may have been able to join the staff in some other role, such as assistant head coach. Whatever the case may be, Bruce Feldman reports that Schiano is staying at Ohio State. And it's unclear how far any of this got, but Schiano staying. Now, again, one thing we've learned this week, once something is reported or announced, it doesn't mean that's the way it is. But for now, we can at least take some solace in the idea that Schiano isn't leaving Columbus until, of course, he eventually does. So the Indianapolis Colts are suddenly looking for a new head coach, and they don't quite go back to square one. They don't restart it from scratch because they never had a coach. For example, they don't have to comply with the Rooney Rule going forward because they already have. They've done their interviews, but they're going to do more moving forward, and I'm told that there are 3 persons who will be interviewed in the next day or so. Chris Ballard, the team's GM, in a press conference on Wednesday, declined to name names, one that has surfaced so far. Eagles offensive coordinator Frank Reich, that's a name that we pegged last night as a possible candidate. Really, all of the key assistants in Philadelphia, put them on the list based upon what the Eagles did to the Patriots in Super Bowl 52. There are other intriguing names out there, and again, there are 3 in mind right now. I think this moves fairly quickly. I was told last night that the Colts had a feeling this may happen, and they were prepared to move forward with a new wave of interviews. So we'll see who gets interviewed, and we'll see how quickly they get a new coach in place. But the clock is ticking. In Indianapolis, the scouting combine begins in roughly 3 weeks. Look for a coach to be in place well before then, and somebody who truly wants the job and will take the job and actually show up and sign the contract. That's job number 1. For the Colts, find someone who will do all those things and happily move forward as the next coach of the franchise. As if the Colts don't have enough problems to deal with right now, there are still lingering concerns about the health of quarterback Andrew Luck, specifically his shoulder. Over the weekend, ESPN reported that he may need further surgery. GM Chris Ballard, meeting with the media on Monday in the aftermath of the failed hiring of Josh McDaniels, said that there is no further surgery needed at this time. Either way, look, it's been such a fog and cloud and haze of uncertainty and misdirections by the Colts over the last year, and I understand there's a strategic component to not being completely honest with the media or anyone about the health of the quarterback, but it does create a scenario now where you look at it and you say, well, I don't believe anything until the guy comes back and plays. And I'm not going to believe that he's healthy, that he's not healthy. I don't know what to believe. I'll believe it when I see it. When I see Andrew Luck play and play like he used to, then I'll know he's healthy. Before that, there's no way to know with certainty what's going on because the Colts have proven to us over the last year plus that they're not going to tell us what's going on. They're going to show us. And until they show us, I'm not going to believe anything as it relates to the health of Andrew Luck.